what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Your Show. My name is Gary, still your busty host here, and so proud to say we are the only live local show in Saskatoon on the air from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and we're so damn proud to say that. And so grateful to have you with us today. We're also dare I say, well known for making up categories that were number one in on YouTube, like today. We're the number one show on YouTube that is being run by a couple of Disneyland fellas. I'm not sure if that was the right way to say it. Disneyland, a couple of magical kingdom goers. By the way, number one. We also have a cam. And this cam is world famous, world renowned. It is the Maggie cam. Let's check in with, oh, she's attentive today. Look at her. Must have saw something over there. Oh, maybe not. Just a cute little yawn. Oh, that's perfect. You're so pretty. The Maggie cam, proudly brought to you by our fantastic pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike and Rochelle, and their beautiful puppy, Leroy. Always there to give you the greatest experience of your pet shopping life. As well, after hours or on the weekend, say hi to Kirsten, Char, or Chris, and they will continue to give you that service you know and love. All thanks to our good pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Look at her go, hey, you're going to get sneezies, dog. No sneezies. That's right. Good girl. Very good girl. All right. So, first and foremost, I got a little worried here now because we haven't had any issues with these Zooms in a while. So this will be interesting. First, I want to introduce the guy beside me. You know him as one of our favorite people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Curtis Anderson. Woo!
Thank you for that fantastic introduction. A couple of Disney Magic Kingdom goers.
I was trying.
It was good. No, I felt,
You felt
that
it?
deep
Well,
in my
I know
heart.
you
was
guys.
like, that's me.
You guys love heading out there,
That's
man.
Tombstone stuff right there, right? What I want to be known for.
Like the movie or the move?
Like when I'm dead and they put it on the tombstone.
Oh,
like
a third option.
Is it an epitaph? Is that what it's
Epitaph,
called?
yep.
Oh, look at that with a big
He's on
word.
it. He's on
It's all
it.
downhill from now, Gary.
Well, especially with what the Zoom was doing. We'll see how we're looking here.
It's because
As,
more people are
it's-
trying to watch this than the Tyson fight.
We're doing the Tyson thing, aren't
That's
we?
why it's
This is
like
the-
it can't keep up.
This is what happens when instead of getting that, you just have this. And it's doing that in here. But we will check in now all the way across to the other side of the world and say hello to Coach number one. There he is. God, he looks great. Talk to me, Goose. How you doing?
Pretty good, Gaza.
Oh,
I'm.
man.
Is it working?
It's cutting in and out. So we can sort of make do. We can handle this.
All
As long
right.
as-
Well, I'm in a remote location today. Not coming from the office.
Where are we?
Can you guys hear me? I'm looking
Yeah.
at your faces and it doesn't look like it.
It's like every second we hear you and then
Oh.
it cuts out. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
that's
good.
not good.
Where is this remote location?
Have you heard of the Great Ocean Road?
You say Gypsy Road?
No.
A Great Ocean Road. Here we go. We got a translator too. This will be good. Tell
Yeah.
us about Great Ocean Road. Oh, he
Uh-oh.
freeze
He
off.
froze.
Dude, this might not be us.
No, I think that's him.
Maybe the Great Ocean Road does not
Great
like
Ocean
what
Road,
we're
famous
doing.
for its 16 coats of lead paint.
Could you not have asked for a better freeze frame though? Look how
What a
happy he
handsome
is.
man.
There he is. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, it's good.
He froze.
Let's see if this is any better.
It's a pretty rough one, and here's what we're gonna do because I can make through a little bit with what you're doing. First question: was the Mike Tyson fight as big of a deal in Australia as it was over here in Canada? I guess North America. Did you watch it?
Yeah, we did. I watched it. So this was my Saturday afternoon. was I watched Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and then went to Pearl Jam.
Forgot about the Pearl Jam trip. Dude, okay, first question. Did you get to actually see the fight? Or did Netflix kick you out like it did half the population? It did kick you out too, all the way over there.
No. It was fine. No issues at all. in my
Wow.
place.
Holy cow.
So Australia has got that good internet.
I should have went there to watch it. Had I known.
Yes. I could have had a Mike Tyson party. You guys could have come.
Oh, man. Maybe next year. I'm sure he'll be fighting again. There's probably going to be a rematch. I don't care what anyone says. Before we get into that, recap the Pearl Jam for me, dude. How was it?
Okay, so it was at a 50,000 capacity stadium. So we had to get through security, had to wait probably in line for 15 minutes. And I've got a backpack with some couple bunny hugs for the kids. And they're like, no, you can't come through. But
Brutal.
you can bring your bag and go and put it in security at a different gate. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So there was like a quickie mart right behind where we would go in. So I went and asked them and said, hey, can I leave my bag with you guys for the concert and I'll come back and get it. So they kept the bag for us so that we saved some time there. The concert, I saw them in Saskatoon in 2004 and it was kind of like, meh.
It
No,
doesn't matter.
well, it definitely wasn't 2006 because we were here.
Was it?
He was gone. He moved away, man.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I swear they were here in 2006. Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
We had a really good,
No,
really
no,
good
you-
connection there. Don't mess with the connection. So
He's a day ahead.
you were comparing the one you saw way back to this one a little bit, is what you're saying?
Well, it was just there's a little trepidation because it didn't overwhelm us in the first one. And this one, kind of the same. There's a lot of songs we didn't know because probably after like Vitalogy or Versus, didn't really listen to Pearl Jam, any of the newer stuff. Like they played Jeremy, they played Alive. And his voice, Eddie Vedder's voice is awesome. Like it's still the same. But I don't know. We just walked away and said that was good. But when we went to Foo Fighters, I was like, I'd go 6 times in a row and see them over and over and over. And just didn't have that same feeling. So I kind of feel like a little bit of a downer, but it was all right.
Ugh.
Done it, won't go again.
It sounds like you didn't have the best Saturday. The potential was through the roof, and you sort of got Netflixed a little bit there.
Well, yeah, like the Mike Tyson fight. I mean, the Mike Tyson fight, seriously, that had to have been what people were expecting.
You know,
Like,
the all the stuff that's come out since then, all the videos you see on social media, there is just so much undeniable proof that this thing was fake. Like, so I'll get into it 1 second. I just had a thing pop up. A very special happy 4-year anniversary to our friend Megan and the team over at Smash Therapy. Smash Therapy, you guys. If you got a lot of anger, go see Megan over at Smash Therapy, celebrating 4 years now of business. You go in there and windshields, TVs, lamps, anything you think of, plates, it's all there. And you get different weapons. You can take like a bat, or you can take like a baseball bat, a golf club, hockey sticks, like sledgehammers, all this stuff.
It
It's
has to
incredible.
be inside the building, though, Gary.
Yes.
Don't make the mistake I did.
Sorry, yeah.
Parking lot
Could
is
be
not
very-
included in the deal.
It could be very confusing. So again, hello to Megan, and we're hoping to do some stuff.
Can we
with them.
get the Macho Man to do a video of smashing stuff there?
That would be great.
I'm looking into starting some really fun commercials to run during this show. That might be one.
Just get Macho Man, yeah.
The Macho
Dropping
Man
elbows.
at Smash Therapy.
I love it.
Anyway, so I just wanted to get that out before, because I forgot yesterday. So I put a reminder on my phone to remember. So hello again to Megan. That fight, I've talked so much about it. I spent all day yesterday talking about it too. And the whole idea behind that fight was so exciting, to the point where it was, dare I say, one of the most anticipated boxing matches of all time. Like, it had to be, just because
Oh, yeah.
the fact that anyone could watch it, you weren't paying $1 million to see it through pay-per-view, it was just on your Netflix, seemed like a great idea. The stuff that's come out now, when you see that video where Jake Paul misses over Mike's ear, and he comes in like this, and everything here is saying, all right, this is over. It's Mike Tyson's fist that's about to end someone. And then he does this. And there's footage of it everywhere. Not, all these things are starting to come out with everyone saying the same thing. This was the fakest fight we've ever seen. Then we hear Jake Paul had certain rules and stipulations put into place that if Mike knocked him out in the first round, he wouldn't get paid, and different things. There's another thing where they lock up, and right here, Jake Paul's talking to Iron Mike's ear, and people are basically saying that he said, hey, you better chill out or else you won't get paid. Because we all know Jake Paul is not a good human being. So he would do something like that. And then you see Mike tap him on the shoulder saying, all right, I hear you. And then Mike's biting his glove while he's doing his thing because he had to remind himself not to punch this guy.
Yeah, and he's got to bite something if we know Mike Tyson.
Sort of his thing.
Right? So it's good. He
So-
got off easy.
Here was my big takeaway from all this. And I brought this up yesterday. I want to run it by both you guys. I know Mike Tyson made $20 million on this fight. Jake Paul made $40 million. Now, sure, $20 million is great. We all know Mike Tyson made over $300 million in his boxing career. And then in 2003, he had to file for bankruptcy because he owed $23 million due to cocaine and tigers. So because of that, he needs the money. Sure, that's fine. But if you are put in a situation where your name's been dragged through the mud because you've done a lot of bad things and you're trying to continue this sort of redemption song, if you will, of Mike Tyson, wouldn't you think you can make a lot more money by saying, hey, Jake, I understand you're going to give me 20 mil if I pretend to not fight you, but everyone on planet Earth right now wants to see me knock you the F out. And if I do that, I bet you I could make a lot more money on endorsements. I might have a brand new video game come out, a brand new Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, a million things. You will be viewed, Mike Tyson, as the hero this world needs. Don't you think he would benefit so much more if he just let one of those punches go? And then even later, if he apologized to Jake, say, sorry, like I didn't mean to do it. Like he had a chance to become next level.
There was probably so much paperwork, though.
Oh,
that
for sure.
Would make
Absolutely.
sure that
Yep.
didn't happen, that he
Yep.
probably would have been
Yep.
bankrupt for the rest of his life if he actually did do that.
If that story comes out, though, that Jake Paul did that to him, would you not take Mike Tyson's side? Would you not say, no, Mike, we got you?
Mike Tyson could be punting orphans, and I'd take his side over
Jeez, that's a
Mr.
very
Paul.
aggressive.
I'm just saying,
So
like,
can
what would it take to get you on Jake Paul's
That's
side?
also a very good point. Go ahead there, Coach One.
So here's my ignorance, and I don't know if it's my age where I'm living. Jake Paul, like I know he's a YouTuber and a boxer. That's it. But it sounds like there's some nasty shit that he's done.
Correct. There's a reason he is literally talked about as one of the biggest pieces of human garbage on planet Earth.
So what's he done? What's his rap sheet
Here's-
look like?
Here's a perfect example, just to get you caught up. So he's brothers with a guy named Logan Paul. And Logan Paul did boxing as well. And then he went into wrestling. And to all wrestling fans everywhere, we all hate it because he's really good at it.
We're going to be here a while.
He's really, really good at wrestling. But he's also really good at making you hate him. So it's like a double whammy.
If you're good at getting hated,
Yeah.
like he is, WWF or WWE is the best place
Perfect
for you,
for you.
and he thrived. And as a lifelong wrestling fan, I hate how good he is.
Yeah.
Like he's probably top like 10% of the roster of people who wanted to do this their whole life and train their whole life. And here's this spoiled kid that's a YouTube star. It's like, I think I could do this, and he does it at a level higher than the majority of the people.
Very well said.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
But it's undeniable.
So that's sort of the background of where these guys are coming from. They've spent their entire lives having everything given to them. They think the world owes them. They think that they are so much above you that you are so lucky to get just to be able to watch a couple seconds of me on YouTube because I'm a Paul brother. And it's not only that, it's the corruption too. Like you said, that contract for that fight, guaranteed there's a lot of shady stuff in there. The other Paul brother, he started a thing called Lunchables or Lunchleys. There's Lunchables, and then he made one called Lunchleys, I think. It had like 0.2% less of each bad ingredient. So they came out and said, hey, guess what? We got this thing that's just like Lunchables, but it's better for you. So better for you meaning, hey, there's instead of 9,000 pounds of sugar, there's like 8,099, guys. And people picked up on it, and then it just crashed. Like they're constantly doing these things because they know their audience is kids. So they prey on these kids with all these things, and that's how they lock them in. It's horrible stuff that these guys are doing, and that's why they're hated so much.
So maybe the next fight should be Jake Paul and Conor McGregor.
That would be something.
Because Conor McGregor wouldn't hold back, would he?
No, I don't think he'd know where he was in the ring. But again, that's what we said about Mike. That's exactly what we all said about Mike. You want to talk about one of the baddest mother effers on the planet? That's the guy.
Yeah, Mike's he's 59 years old. He's looking at life differently. He's got a little more wisdom.
That's true.
Or maybe well, I don't know if he had wisdom, but
Man,
I think he's mellowed out a little bit. And he's
a lot.
walking out with his ass hanging out.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Like that was probably one of the highlights.
Gary and I are wearing that right now in like to pay homage to what happened on Friday. That's how it's going to end the show. We're going to walk out of here.
But we are in unison.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Auntie Susie calling. Should we take Auntie Susie real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What's up, Auntie?
Hold on.
Auntie? Is she Auntie or Auntie?
It's Auntie. Hello, Auntie Susie.
Yeah. Curtis, do you? Oh,
hello?
I'll wait for Gary to finish.
That's all good.
Hello.
She hung up on him like usual.
No, she's there. Hey, we're on the air, girl. What's up? Oh, you heard that, hey? Did you hear your shout out? Did you hear your shout out I gave you? Okay, you can't hear me. I gave you a big shout out saying, Auntie Susie, don't be mean to anybody at Cosmo. Good. Okay, I'll call you after the show, okay? I'm talking to my friends right now. Okay, look at this. I can't even turn off my phone.
No.
You hear me? Okay, I love you, girl. I'll talk to you after the show, okay? Okay, bye. Sorry, I emceed, well, getting this too, I emceed the Spirit of Cosmo breakfast this morning at 6 a.m. That's my Auntie Susie.
That came up organically.
That was...
Hey, Auntie Susie, give me a call 10 minutes in and I'll bridge into the fact that I hosted this huge fundraiser this morning. Tell us about the fundraiser before we continue, Gary.
Well, it was on my list only because, coach number one, it's public speaking. I spoke in front of a couple hundred people this morning. And
nice work.
And I used a bunch of the things I've learned from your amazing book. Can we get that over here a little more? Right over there? Yeah, there you go. There it is. That's the one. So I was using a bunch of that. Are we done with the Mike Tyson? Anything else you want to say about the Mike Tyson stuff?
I would like to say...
The only thing Oh, you go, Curtis.
How big of a garbage human being does Jake Paul have to be where we're all sympathizing with the ear-biting rapist? I'm just saying.
That is a really hot take.
Hot take. Just saying. No, that's it. Your final words on Mike Tyson.
So it's probably more around to your question before is like, is there another way you could make more money than $20 million?
By being a hero of the world.
So I'm going to give you another option. And this is, we're veering off big time from the boxing world, but this is about money. I'm speaking at a conference for a couple days here, and the parent company that owns this company is a Canadian listed. It's on the TSX. Look this up, Curtis, while we're talking about it. But it's called the Constellation Group. And just type in Constellation Group Canada share price. I did not know stocks had prices, or that shares would have this price, but it would have to be
what?
Yeah,
dude, big day today. $4,503 per share. It's up $66 today.
And you're all over this?
Well, I'm starting to go, how do I get into it? But so what they do is they buy software companies, just small ones, and they acquire them. And typically when companies will acquire other companies, they merge them into one big company or they sell off parts. These guys buy them and keep them for life because they're going, if you're making money, you'll keep making money. Anyways, when the company launched, I think this was, I'm going to say 15 years ago, give or take 5 years, $17 a share was the price. And they're $4,500 now.
And you're telling them how to run business?
Well, I want to work with the parent company now, and I can say, look, I'm happy to work for you, and shoot me 100 shares, and we're good.
Next Wednesday, he's going to be wearing a gold suit.
I'm going to have Macho Man, the real Macho Man, next to me.
Yes.
Well, no, I
I'll
won't,
come down.
actually, will I?
In spirit.
Okay, yes. Yes.
We gotta diversify.
I would
My
go to
wife
that
thought
conference.
that was the Macho Man.
I would go to that conference for sure. Hey, I'll tell you, if they're looking for, did you tell them that you are a family member of this incredible network and you're a regular every Wednesday? Did you tell them, we got a pretty good, I don't know, is this a software company? Can we call ourselves that?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, sure.
SAWFT ware company. Soft.
Yeah, software. WEAR.
That's your brand, software.
SAWFT.
Right? That is a thought. You were part of this, Coach, right? Gotta
That's it.
trademark that right now.
Okay.
The
It started.
Gary relaxed wear, like the beach wear he always shows up in. Soft
Robes.
wear.
That's very good. Very soft materials.
Wow. Well, I'm still working on
tank.
Mott's.
Yeah, Maze is ready. Here's the story. Normally, Maze is in this chair with us, but his beautiful, lovely wife, Sarah, had a flat tire. So, being the chivalrous man that he is, he
Went
came
to
in.
Costco.
He went to Costco, came here, dropped off a bunch of treats, and then he went to save the family. So that's where he is today.
Mhm.
And we always
Well, I'm
miss
looking
him.
forward to seeing him chug
Yeah.
1.89 liter.
What did he say for
jug.
for a time? Didn't he say like under 20 seconds or something?
30 seconds.
Yeah.
He figures he could do it in.
I can't wait. Next week, he said he's doing it too, so we're going to actually go for it. All right, a couple more minutes here as we are hanging out with Curtis Anderson, my main man, along with my other main man, Coach number 1, all the way in Australia. So I'm, first and foremost, I was up at 6 a.m. this morning. I never, the joke is that's when I go to bed, and I do a lot. I'll fall asleep on the couch or on the recliner, and then I'll get into bed finally around 6 sometimes. So I'm waking up, and my dad picks me up, and we roll in. We got our buddy Dale in the truck, and we get to Prairieland Park, and I see my lovely friend Charlene, the executive director for Cosmo, and she gets me my notes, and I sit down. While everyone else is visiting, Nickel Plumbing had 2 tables there, so we had a big crew of peeps, and everyone wants to talk, and you say hi and stuff, but I'm going over that script, over, for an entire half hour. Just every single thing, over, until I get the tap. It's like, all right, let's go. And I get up there, and 200 to 300 people. This is a packed house. And then it was also being recorded, or satellite live, whatever it is, to the different satellite locations for Cosmo and Elmwood. And they had it going on at the big shop on 34th Street. So the first thing I remembered, and I learned from this amazing book, is be prepared. Make sure you're prepared. It's very simple, but it's so important. So just by going through that script, I think it was about 10 pages, but luckily Charlene, being the angel that she is, she got really big text. So I had a big sort of booklet, but I could see it while I was reading, which was fantastic. And I feel like this is one of the first events that I really did well. Most of the time I'll do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that was okay, this or that. This one, I don't know what it was, whether I was just over-prepared, because I had previous copies of the script which got changed around and stuff, but I made sure I did my reps and got them in. So when I got up there, I was way more engaged with the audience, because I wasn't always doing look down for 2/3 of a sentence and look up and finish off that sentence and remember. I had it locked in, and it was like being in the zone when you're an athlete. And then I'd go off script when something was fun, and everyone would laugh, and the mood was so good. And I just wanted to thank you, because a lot of these things that I've learned from you helped me succeed when talking to a big, huge crowd, especially when I struggle with all the anxiety. I don't know how you're feeling right now, but when I got to get up and talk, man, I don't sleep. I lose days just worrying about having to put myself out there in front of people. And I got to tell you, it was so fantastic. After the event was done, I had 4 different people come up to me and say, man, you did such a great job. Thank you so much. This is the 4th one I've done now every year. So I've done it for the last 4 years. So it's all these friends that you now see there. That's the only time I see these people. And they're all so kind, and it's such a warm room, fundraising for our friends at Cosmo, multi-sensory equipment that they're getting, and they got a van last year. And just to be around that much kindness, it was so, so good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is thank you for helping me finally reach the potential I was supposed to be at.
Now, I just want to give you a big hug, Gary.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well done. Maybe Curtis can give you one after.
Hell yeah.
But so when you were saying you prepared just before, I thought, man, how do you only prepare that? But it sounds like you did a little bit more than that than just that morning.
I did. Yeah, I got a copy of it on Friday. So I would do a little bit.
This reminds me a little bit one of the first times when we talked about you and your career. Like,
Oh, no.
I come to Saskatoon, you're on billboards and on buses. And then you change direction. And you said, I didn't like preparing for things. I just liked going off the cuff.
Yeah.
And then your boss would drive them nuts.
Yeah.
But this time here, you prepared and you delivered one of the best performances of all time.
Yep.
So is there something in a little bit of preparation, a little bit of planning, maybe?
I think we compromise and meet in the middle for that environment. Yes.
Yeah.
Because more than anything, it gave me the confidence to know that I knew what I was talking about. See, when I come in here, like I've had, I don't know if you've ever seen these or not, all these cards with all these notes on them. There's so many. And I always have them here just to keep my hands busy. So I'll always be holding on to them so it looks like I'm doing stuff. There are so many things on here that I've never said on the air, ever. Because I forget, because I get in conversation, we get going. Like yesterday, I had a note written down somewhere to give a shout out to Smash Therapy. And I didn't get to it, because I was too engaged. We were talking. I had the All Out Angst boys in the house, and we were doing a whole bunch of fun stuff, talking about Mike Tyson. So I didn't get to it. So in here, when it's conversational and I have people to talk to and talk with, I don't want that. But when I'm in that situation, definitely. And that's what I learned. A little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Yeah, that's gold. That's gold.
It was
I just
really
wanted
cool.
Curtis, you all right? You just gave her one of these.
No,
rubbing the
sorry.
eyes.
He was in Disneyland. He just got back.
It's been
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I have just been enjoying this warm hug between the two of you. Okay, it's a moment. I'm dropping out. I'm just letting it happen.
It's magic.
And
It's magic.
I just got a little emotional. I'm sorry. My eyes. Sometimes I yawn and the water works. Continue, you guys. Jeez.
Have you guys already spoken about
I want to
Disneyland?
read this book, and I can't wrestle it away from Gary's cold dead hands. So
I just realized, you
he
guys,
reads it over and over, and I'm like,
how
look
many
at this handsome guy on the back.
how many people get to say they are sitting, well, on screen anyway, with two authors? Look at this.
Yeah, it's a very similar book.
Look at this. Get that one out. There you go.
Let's see
After
it.
you finish Teams That Swear,
By each other, not about each other.
Gina French is Not a Waste of Roofies is almost like part
That's his
2,
book.
What?
right? For the
Wow.
feel-good, self-empowerment.
We bring the knowledge
So
around
what-
here,
what
you
is-
guys.
What is that book? What's your book about?
It's dark fiction, my friend. It's actually kind of like the bookend of my television career, because I was like, I wrote this book and a publisher gave me money for it, and I was like, my current place of employment is gonna hate it, so I just went all in, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna quit, and I'm gonna push my book, so I'm gonna make it as dark as possible and just get it out there, and I'm quite proud of it. Yeah, it's like a decade old now,
Authors.
but yeah, I wrote
Authors.
book of fiction from start to finish, and each lap made it progressively darker, and a publishing house in Sweden were like, we love it, and I was like, what about the working title? They're like, no, that's the title, and I was like, okay, all right, kind of just something I wanted to use to get the novel noticed, and then we'd go from there, but all right, let's go. So there it is. Gina French is Not a Waste of Roofies. Debut novel. Look at
This is
that.
it. You know what? I'm just realizing here right now?
This is like Christmas hamper stuff. Just package these two together, something for
I was gonna say,
everyone.
it's a package deal.
Right?
I'm realizing that I think we just need to get Curtis on and make it like a Wednesday roundtable with you there, Coach Number One,
Oh,
because
she?
we bring some good stuff when we all get together.
Jesus knocked my
That's
book
for sure.
down.
Hey, no politics, no religion.
No, it's a joke, man. And when are you going to write a book?
Ah, man, never.
See?
You guys-
Needs to
that's
be the
what I-
third one right here.
I've seen how much work you
The
guys
Dufferin
put in. I know
Ave
how much this
trilogy.
happened.
What would your book be about, Gary?
Oh,
Quick,
man.
quick. Don't think.
Food.
Don't hesitate. Food. Like Gary's cookbook.
That's it.
Yeah?
And maybe like Pet Planet on 8th Street could distribute them for us,
Yeah.
right? Or any of your
Ooh.
other great sponsors.
Bring everyone together, man.
Right?
Man,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
and you know what my book will be about? It will be about food, but it will be titled Software,
Right?
the art of cooking on a budget.
I feel like you would write the book where it's like a recipe and then like a story about the recipe.
Yeah.
And it'd be like really, really, really good and funny, and then suddenly it would just be like the darkest thing you could imagine before you bring it back. That would be the book you write. You know, I could feel that vibe. Where it'd be like, oh, it's Gary's good time book, and then suddenly just like about chapter 7 it would just go to the super dark place, and you're like, oh,
Keep them on their toes.
you know. I read a book called Life is a Mixtape, and it was kind of like that. It was about this guy, and he was going through all the mixtapes he made throughout his life,
Oh,
like high
man, can you
school. It was like
imagine? Yeah.
it was like these are the what I was listening to in 1993, and it was like super awesome. And I was like, oh, and I was following along, and then his wife died, and he was going through the mixtape he made after his wife died, and I was like, ah. And I was rubbing my eyes like I was when you guys were having your love fest.
Like you were
Harder.
before, yeah.
Dude, so good. AJ, thank you so much for always doing this. It means the world, and I love how people are starting to recognize us over in Australia just like they are around here, and I can't wait for us to grow you on this network because you have so much to offer. Best of luck to you with the big, I guess, multiple days you're talking? How many days?
This is day 3, so this is the last day here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best. Crush it out there. And I can't wait to talk to you next week. We'll see if we can get a 4-man roundtable going. 'Cause I think that'll be very fun.
Did Pearl Jam sing Last Kiss?
No.
No. Yeah, that's BS.
See?
I would have.
That's what I mean.
I would have went back to the Kmart and got my stuff and left or whatever. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Final
Screw
question.
that.
Was your bag still there and was everything in it?
Yeah, absolutely. We sent the boys to go get it, and they wouldn't give it to them.
So they were
Because they said, "That's not your
overprotective.
bag."
Yeah.
How good was that?
Good
and then
for
I
them.
walked in and I said, "I know it's in the back. Do you mind if I go there?" And they, yeah, go ahead. So I was back where they were stacking all the waters and soft drinks and whatever else is back there. I felt like I was part of the team.
That's amazing. Good for you. Hey, say hi to the family for us. We love you. And have fun at the rest of the day 3 there at the conference. Man, I stuttered a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Wood! Stutter when I get
What a
nervous.
gem.
He's one of the best, eh? I absolutely love that man. As we continue here, hanging out with Curtis
We
Anderson.
roll on.
You say Last Kiss, the song by Pearl Jam, but cover song.
Yeah. Don't ask me who sang it
No,
originally.
it's one of my least favorite songs of all time. Not just by Pearl Jam, because every day I played it on the radio for 7 years.
It's fair.
We have a live there. We have so many incredible songs by Pearl Jam. Why Last Kiss? We'll never know. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. We gotta get in this pre-tape. We're gonna be late. We're gonna go long today.
Can I give you an honest answer?
I don't know if I want it.
I know I'm of age, but Pearl Jam never resonated with me. I'm sorry.
Me either.
And so I love Last Kiss. It's like the only Pearl Jam song I really like, to
I
be
get
honest.
in
And
a
I know
lot of
I'm the
trouble.
problem. I've no, you know,
I get
Pearl
in
Jam is a
lot of
great
trouble
band.
for
It's
not liking
everybody
them.
loves Pearl Jam, and I'm fine with that. I have nothing against them. It's just I never heard a Pearl Jam song that I was like, oh, I got to hear that over and over and over. But
They're one of those bands that you're not like the Beatles. You're not allowed to say you don't like the Beatles.
yeah,
Like people get mad. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of the Beatles, and people get so angry. It's like I don't hate them. Like I don't. It's just they're not for me, and people just can't stand that.
it was just kind of like punk rock. They just took this like totally obscure song and did a cover. You know,
Yeah.
it was like GNR and Since I Don't Have You. Like great. I don't know. I thought that was a great song. I like what Axl did with it. I thought Last Kiss is a great song. I liked what
The best
what
part
the
about
Jam did
this
with it.
whole conversation is we're allowed to have opinions. It's okay.
Right. Oh,
No one's getting mad here.
oh.
Speaking of music,
Yes.
3 Hall Public House. They got a thing that they do every weekend. And I'm pretty sure I came into this talking about it, so I'm going to not repeat myself. But I will say it is now time for our checking in with the 3 Hall open mic. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the dog there. The 3 Hall Public House open mic night / concert on the next day. Go ahead and run that. Hey, we got the Phenom on the 1s and 2s today. We missed him. There he is. Beautiful. All right, let's run that one, buddy. It's time yet again for us to take a look at what's going on this weekend with our friends at the 3 Hall Public House, 6 to 9 p.m. Friday. Then we got a show for you Saturday. And the bands that come through are always so kind and nice. And this guy right here keeps that streak going. Brother, tell us who you are and what's going on.
Well, my name's Brian Paul D.G., And I kind of did that as a stage name because my last name's long and hard to spell and pronounce for most people. So it's a
Shorten
little
it up.
kinder in this theme that you were saying, talking about there. I'm a singer-songwriter. I was originally thinking I would write stories or movies, like in like so novels or screenplays was actually my original
Come on.
direction where I was.
Love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So I had been playing music my whole life, kind of self-taught. And
So hold on. Is this sort of like a Gordon Lightfoot situation? I always say he's the greatest storyteller of all time.
Oh, interesting. Well, Willie Nelson thought Chris Christopherson was.
Also, yeah. Well, again, storytellers through song, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
that-
can
is-
certainly. That's a big theme for me.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to put a comparison to it
Okay.
a little bit.
Well, once I was writing, I was sitting on the front porch early when I just started writing my own songs in Toronto, where I was born and raised. And someone walked by and said, "Oh, that's a great Gordon Lightfoot song." And I thought, "Oh no! Like, did I just like,
Hell of a compliment.
mimic
Either you
one of
stole
his
a song,
songs?"
yeah.
And I didn't even know it. I thought it was an original. But
Man.
it's like, they say what, like 3 chords or 4
Oh.
chords, and the truth
Yeah.
is
Well, that's one of the biggest issues in music nowadays, right? Because everything has been done. So how do you be different?
Yeah, I mean, my kind of response to that is that we're all unique. So all you need to do is relax and be yourself,
Be
and you're gonna
yourself.
do
Thank you.
something different,
Yes.
But you absolutely are gonna use the same. I would call them archetypal tools,
Whew.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
like
a big word. I like
Carl Jung inspired poetry here.
that. We're going deep. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, and actually, I wanted to go to university and I was thinking actually to become a psychologist. I was gonna study like psychology and stuff like that, and actually my math career got astoundingly like murdered in high school. It was
Me too, brother. Me
Yeah.
too, man. Math's hard.
It was interesting. It was actually always my strongest topic or
no.
study. And then in grade 10, basically in Ontario, it's hard to fire a teacher. My teacher got fired halfway through the year, and then they tried to teach us the whole year and a half here. And then the next 2 years, the guy couldn't speak English and would get mad when you asked him questions about what he said.
That's
So
not
so
how
I
you're
was
supposed to
done.
learn.
My math. So
Yeah,
then
man.
I didn't have the math credits to study psychology in university, so I ended up taking philosophy. And then and since it's been a blessing because I put those two together, and it's just awesome opening happened as a result, and I kind of got on the path of studying psychology through actually going to therapy and stuff like that early on, because I was sincerely interested in like what the heck's going on inside of me, and
Yeah.
that 19-year-old like what waking up kind of thing.
It's a minefield in your head. I'm with you.
Yeah,
man.
So it's in a sense I studied psychology by becoming a patient.
Well, they always say,
And I still am,
like, but there's something to that, right? Because how are you supposed to know about it if you're not involved with it?
Yeah, exactly. And to see something from all the sides. I always learned best through experience. And so, like I was, I basically, when I was going through school even, there was 1 year in university, I did not open a single book out of all my classes. I was kind of going there like a rascal, like just I wanted to live on my own and party and with my friends and stuff like that,
You want to
and
be a kid.
certainly was. Yeah. I got that all out of my system.
And we've all been there too, brother. I'm telling you, it's all relatable
Yeah.
in every sense. So you're in there, you're doing this, and what I'm hearing is a hell of a sort of background story for big potential when it comes to your stage presence and the way you perform.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot deeper than just, hey, here's a song, I'm going to sing it. Like I feel, to me as an outsider, it feels like a lot of your life experience comes up, and I imagine that would be sort of the fire to spark your music career.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was thinking of, that kind of path of becoming a kind of medicine person, like like to become a therapist or something. Like
you want to help people.
to put a shingle up and say I can heal you or something, and which I think is a very tricky. I mean, even in the world of medicine, it's like physician heal thyself is one of the oaths, which is like live a healthy life as a way to inspire and maybe educate others of how they can do that for themselves, kind of thing. To me, that's the most honest approach to so-called medicine or whatever, right? And then so that was kind of, but I just decided I'm going to be an artist, but then that was but the whole interest in healing others was because of how much healing I had to do for myself, right? And so then
You saw the benefits.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man, absolutely. So then basically that intention or practice, you could say, is translated into where, okay, I could be, I'm in a bar. I'm not going to talk too much about in depth, like maybe even like to the degree we're talking now. I'm just going to let the music speak for itself and maybe say a few things in between. But, I've done what I'm doing in lots of circumstances. Like recently, actually, I had two in the winter and spring of this year. Two of my housemates passed away, and I ended up playing a really, really like forefront role as the sort of funeral organizer MC, right?
Yeah.
And it was so helpful for me to grieve honestly and openly with everyone, and it turned out to be like kind of amplifying like something I've already been doing, like where I've done, singing and songwriting kinds of things in the midst of kind of like, yoga classes and stuff like that, but also like healing circles and things like that, or even ceremonial settings I've been invited to, and even inspired a little bit of my own versions of that, and because of how I benefited from that, basically or like healing circles and stuff like that, where I was part of those things like that. So I'm absolutely willing and able to bring that forth as much as it's resonant, because I'm not going to go trying to be like a fundamentalist. I'm trying to push it on.
You're not preaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I actually really value that a lot. Like, So
I don't think I've ever gone this deep with anybody during this stuff. Like it's so interesting for me, and I really appreciate this, in that so many different human beings come through here, but we are all sort of joined together in our love and passion for music. And so everybody's road is different. I've just never heard one this, and I'm sure everyone's is, but I don't know if anyone can explain it as well as you have.
Yeah.
Like the foundation for who you are now. Like and in my head, I'm just comparing to things in my life, and like this place that we built here is sort of the same idea. It's a place for healing. It's a place where people who were in radio or TV, were in those careers, who had to answer to all the overlords and who were told, you have to do things this way. Once they're out of that cycle, be it let go like I was, or be it they decided to leave, every single person that I've talked to, that I've brought in here, says this, and I was telling you earlier, it's such a comfortable environment. And it's because we have no puppet masters at the top pulling strings.
Right.
Like what you see here is us.
Yeah.
Like there's no big owner, there's no people that need to get their money no matter what. It's just fueled by passion in here. And when you hear these stories like that, it's like, ooh, we're doing the right thing. We're on the right path, right?
Man.
It's very cool to me.
Oh, it like honestly, it makes me so happy to be here and be meeting you and seeing what you're doing and experiencing what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
And because really, I think like what you just said is your own version of what I'm doing, and all I feel like I'm doing is taking what I got and owning it, like just and trying to make something beautiful out of what I have, and I really imagine if there was anything I could project onto the world, which is kind of silly, but whatever, we all kind of do that a little, and I'm open to the response of how it's correct or incorrect all the time, and it's always changing and stuff like that, but I really think that it's about everyone being willing and able to grow up, so to speak, and take responsibility and be sovereign, if I should use such a trigger word or whatever, you know. but but it's a good word, and it means a lot,
Yeah.
right? And so it's kind of like, you know, if to me that's how we can live in a world of peace, like where we actually aren't obsessed with the drama of killing each other and fighting all the time, which may just be a serious problem on this planet, you know, like
Yep.
and
I
never
think we're
mind
seeing
in
that.
every household or even within yourself.
Yeah.
Like, stop fighting yourself and try to get along with all the thoughts that you have and stuff like that, right? It's all the same. It's the same principle that can extend out, right?
Yeah, dude.
And so, but I think like if you can, learn how to get along with yourself and make what you have useful to yourself and others.
Dude.
That's simple, right?
Yeah, man.
And then away we go, and then we're having fun. It's like we're kids in a sandbox, like just playing. Like, hey, I got this toy, and you got that one. Hey, da da da, you know. And it's just
G.I. Joe's, man.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
whatever, right?
That's
like,
it. And like it's so crazy to me that we have this conversation, and I continue to have it over and over, just in different sort of ways. And we end every live show here, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. We end every show reminding people that karma is very real.
Oh,
So if you do good things, they'll start happening to you, and that is how we can fix this world.
yeah,
Like I've been so turned off from leaving the house because every time I leave, I get angry. And I get angry because nobody smiles, no one's happy, nobody looks at each other, everyone's looking down. And I'm not talking about just walking around driving. Every single time I drive in the city, at least one time I'll have an experience where there'll be a green light and someone's on their phone. Or there'll be someone trying to get by someone and honking and cursing and giving the finger and doing all this stuff. And it's got to the point now where I'm becoming one of those people that is like scared to leave their house. So that's why I always end the show with a reminder, hey, we can do this, but we have to start answering to ourselves.
yeah.
And we have to start looking after each other because nobody does it anymore.
Well, one of my my interest in practice in philosophy and psychology led me to studying some of the Eastern traditions and actually the so-called Western mystical traditions, and they're all like, I see the connection between them. I think, you know, like there's that cartoon image of like Christ and Krishna and Buddha all around fire, and they're just having a blast with each other, and no one's having a problem about a religious argument there.
No war is going on there.
You know, like I think they know how to get along. And so you know, and I think that's actually the spirit of all those traditions and teachings. But like the word karma, it's kind of what got me going on this, like, because that tradition, like, and I've had really, I can't even believe the privilege that I've had, like, of my path. And one way, it's because of probably what a hard case I was, or maybe even
Went
still
through
am.
some shit, yeah.
You know, that made me have to, like, I've actually gone to a lot of different, you know, whatever you want to call them, traditions, and had the privilege of, like, being in sweat lodges and stuff like that, and then also sitting with, like, you know, high level lamas and stuff like that, and teachers from these traditions. And I'm really humbled. And anyway, it's making me think of a teaching where that, like, one view is like the world may never change, right? Like the way that people are suffering and creating suffering may never ever change. If that's true, which we don't know if it is or not, but what can you do that's, regardless of if that will change or if it won't change, what do you want to do about that, right? And it's kind of like, that's such a powerful muse for me, because it's kind of like, you know, whether it's going to change or not, I still want to be kind, and I still want to try to inspire more kindness. And to me, that's man, do you ever feel like a kind of indestructible, like, confidence in that, you know? And then there's all these old movies and stories of how people, like, died in these righteous ways and stuff, and we're all going to die. So to have that kind of, like, picture of, you know, that's how I'm going to die, and feel like I know I lived a good life, and I just put my little drop in the bucket the way I wanted, and away we go, you know. And so one of the teachings in there that I was remembering is when you're getting close to achieving and maintaining a high level of, you could say, mind or whatever you want to call it, way, path, or something, like that when you're getting close to really achieving that path, one of the common pratfalls, if you want to call it that, is anger, because you start doing a lot of good stuff and you don't necessarily see a return from the world of like where they start meeting you with that awareness, consideration,
So many
right?
people
And
say
then
it all
you
the
get
time.
angry, right? And it's like, and it's kind of like, you know, they have a phrase like righteous anger and stuff like this, and you can really justify staying there for a long time. And I feel like I'm still challenged by that, and so, but it's, man, does it ever have help to have that view, because or that teaching, because it's kind of, they call it, they this one was where they called a 10-step program or whatever, and steps 7 and 8 are when you're getting close to being fully developed, but you get actually stuck on the anger, because and it's kind of righteous, and that's why it's so tricky, because you're kind of right, but it comes to a point where you just got to make the choice of like, you know, I'm going to do this whether it changes people or not. Can I be happy and unattached about that? And then boom, all of a sudden you're at level 9 and 10 or something like that, you know, and it's like
your last sort of battle.
It's in that chart, which, you know, and some of these traditions are old, man. Like they lived the test of time for like 2,500 years and more, right?
That's why they're still there.
It's something interesting about that. At the
I'd say
very least,
more than interesting.
know?
There's a reason these things are still around.
Yeah, and also like and this for a muse for me and an inspiration for like the quality of a song I write. Like they haven't lost a shred of like poetic like resonance right now, and it's just like, that's a good song, right? That's a good song,
dude.
right?
Man, we could sit here and talk for hours. I love this stuff because, like, if you really break it down, we barely even talked about music. We talk about all the other things that create music, really. The stories behind the journey and all that. Like, this has been very, very cool. Where can people go to find your stuff and all that stuff? Let's promote you, man. Let's get the word out there.
Well, my website is kind of like my, what's that thing called now that people do, link page or whatever?
LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's been suggested to me, you should get one of those. And it's like, well, my website has it all.
It's right there.
Like you can go, I have like products and services and what else? Event schedule, and like it's all there. So it's brianpauldg.com, Brian with an I. And Paul like Paul, and then D like dog, G like goose. How about that?
Real easy.
.com.
Real easy. So you head there, we can see all your stuff and support you. Because, dude, I'll tell you, as a fellow guy who's trying genuinely to make the world better, to help people, and to just be happy. I always say, money to me, money doesn't mean it. I've never had money as an adult. Like, I'm the most privileged kid ever. I was spoiled my entire life. And then once I sort of stopped sucking on the teat, if you will, I realized, money, I don't need it. I'm very good at living as a minimalist. I have a tiny little ski chalet. I have the studio, and that's sort of all I need. And with me being that way, money to me is seeing my friends succeed.
Yes.
Seeing my buddies come in here and do shows and do stuff and chase dreams, stuff they never thought they could do, that's the payment for me. So that's what I'm looking for.
I totally agree.
And, you know, it is true. My dad reminds me all the time, well, son, you still have to have money to run this thing. I know, but my hope and my dream is that the money will come from us being so open in that we want to help people.
Yeah.
No one's here to get rich. Everyone's just here to get comfortable.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think that basically money to me is an extension of value, and value is not limited to money, right? Yeah. And so then if we use money like that, and what's the value? I mean, that's more interesting to me than money, but because money could disappear like this, but your value doesn't go anywhere if you got it, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, kindness and you know, and peace and joy,
All those things.
and skillful means, right?
Yeah.
Like skill, like we all have skills that are useful to serve those principles of kindness and joy and peace and whatever else, right?
So sweet, dude.
And so to me, then, if you use money like that and receive money like that, we're changing the world however much we can.
We're
I think
doing what we want to do. See?
Yeah.
Similar minds, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The heater turned on, so it must mean it's time for us to roll out here. 3 Hall Public House, Friday night, 6 to 9 p.m., unplugged open mic. Saturday, come see my man Brian. It's going to be so awesome. I'm so pumped for you, dude.
Right on.
I'm so happy to meet you, and go check out his website and support this guy. This is what it's all about. Best of luck to you. Thank you again for coming by.
Thank you, and
Greatly
likewise, and
appreciate it, man.
support this
It's-
guy too.
wow.
He's doing awesome stuff
Dude,
in an awesome way.
We're
man.
all doing it,
Yeah,
and we're spreading that love. So thank you again, and we'll continue to make
Yeah.
this world a better place.
Like I'm in, man.
Look at this guy go.
Hold on, I found it.
He lost his earpiece.
No,
Oh no, you
there.
popped it out. Hey, he's back. And he's back. Dude, go see my man Brian. Like, universally, you know, I tell this story a lot around here about how the second I was let go from my radio career, I got into my 1993 Dodge Shadow with the radio that's worked since 1993. And I
I
started
turned the
car.
station.
No, it was on, like it
Okay.
always is. I start the car, it's not on. I turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. My radio doesn't work. It hasn't worked since July 5th of 2023. And that sent me on this incredible journey, answering universal callings, universal signs, whatever you want to call it. And that's sort of led us to this place. And that dude that we just saw there, my man Brian, this weekend, check him out, 3 Hall Public House. He's on that same level. He's a guy who's been through so much shit. And he's still here and better for it. And he's working on not just helping himself and bettering himself, but bettering others. And all the ongoing themes around this incredible, magical content creation studio, he was all about. So it's very cool. Love supporting our friends at Bloom Entertainment and at the 3 Hall Public House. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I think everything you said there is like the pushback to the way the world has gotten so corporate and crush the little guy and make as much money as you can. There's that groundswell of like, you know what, let's be nice to each other. And it's obviously not quite catching up, but it's coming. You know, the more people that get on board with that ideology,
That's it.
I know
Starts with one.
it's you know, the capitalism is kind of the short game, where actually being nice and supportive is the long game. We'll see what happens, right? I don't know.
It's just that when you're around like-minded people, it's just like this morning at the Spirit of Cosmo Breakfast. When you're around people that just want to do good, it is so contagious. It's incredible. And the more of that you can do, create places and situations and gatherings that are full of people like that, that's how you bubble it over. Carry it over the next day. Carry it over the next week. Keep doing good things.
It's funny to see people go the other way, though. We're on the flight home from Calgary. We went from California to Calgary. It's like midnight, right? It's late. It's snowing. Last couple days, so planes were delayed. So it's midnight. Everyone wants to sleep, and there's these 2 businessmen sitting in front of us, loudly talking about how much money they make, and it's just the most obnoxious.
Those types, eh? Yeah.
You got to hear this. I need everyone to know how much money I make at midnight when everyone's trying to sleep. And I just wanted to tap them on the shoulder and go, hey guys, you know, like, piece of advice. People who actually make a lot of money don't loudly talk about how much money they make. It's kind of a tell. Like, I'm actually sad that this is happening.
If you wanted to put that into sort of a verbal vision, it's like both of them pulled down their table trays and then flopped them out. Like, who's got a bigger one?
Pretty much.
Spoiler alert, neither of them did because they're talking like that.
It's like, what a fascinating trait. You make a lot of money. And that was all they talked about for the entire 50 minutes.
We didn't
was
even
like, oh, then this makes money and this makes money. I was like,
we didn't even get into the trip. You're going to tell us about the trip as we get Frankie to play us out.
it was great. That's a heart.
That's all you got? It was great. I heard your
Disney
heard
is
your lovely
never
daughter
bad.
took you down Space Mountain a bunch of times.
Yeah, my daughter loves Space Mountain.
You're here.
I love watching the kids grow because, like, at first it's like you do the kid rides, and that's fun because they're little, and then you're like, God, I don't want to ride the teacups anymore. And then they get like the mid-level. Suddenly you're on Big Thunder Mountain, and this is good, but you're like, I can't wait for you to get to the adult ones, and we're right on the cusp of that. She tried she tried Space Mountain and loved it. So now we have like Rock and Roller Coaster with our pals Aerosmith, and the Everest one. What's it called? Phenom? I always forget. Expedition Everest. We'll see. We'll see how she does.
I'm happy.
You gotta drag him. You gotta drag him, Gary.
I'm happy you made it home.
It's like the Disney version of throwing him into the lake to teach him to swim.
Like John Wayne, like the Duke.
Yeah, you gotta lie to him. This ride isn't scary. It's very scary. But once you're on, you're on.
I'm not a rag.
It's like life, Gary. It's always gonna be scary. You just gotta hold on and hope that lap bar is secure.
It's true. It's so true.
Print it. Put it on
Thank
the
you
shirt.
to this guy, Curtis Anderson, coach number 1, a.k.a. Adrian, the Canadian over in Australia, to the Phenom. There he is. See it? Say hi. There he is. Yeah, still the only show that's run by just a hand. It's very cool. As well to Brian.
I
you're
loved
gonna
him
see
in
this
Adam's
weekend.
Family.
So good. Again, support the music. All of our friends at the Spirit of Cosmo Breakfast, thank you so much for being so kind and doing some great fundraising like we always do. Only 364 more days till the next one, so I will look forward to that very much. As well, and I forgot, Charlene sent me a thank. Like, I can't stress this enough. Executive Director with Cosmo, Charlene, one of the greatest humans you'll ever meet, sent me a message just to thank me for doing such a great job. Oh, you're the best. And she reminded me I'm emceeing their Christmas party in December, so I'm going to see her.
You must have done a good job. They invited you back to
Yeah,
that.
it's
Quick
very
turnaround.
nice.
That's awesome, Gary.
It's very cool. So thank you to everyone that was there and supporting.
You have a different glow about you today. I'm
told
being serious. Like,
It's
I
one
could
of those
tell
things.
you succeeded,
one of
and
those
you were
things.
walking around wearing a huge victory around your neck.
It was great. Hey,
Yeah.
karma's very real. Do good things, they'll start happening to you. I promise. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.